everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vuvu and this is Vuvu Vena Reads. On today's video, I want to share with you some of the books that I have out of the 33 long listed books of the Sunday Times / CNA Literary Awards 2021.
So Vuvu Vena _reads is an amazing book reviewer, also YouTuber. She reviews books on YouTube, and if I'm not mistaken, she also has a blog as well. So please, if for your connection with literature, get in touch with or follow at VUVUVENA _reads. She is based in South Africa, and I think it is also extremely important to follow literary content creators who are based outside of the West and in continental Africa, because they do a really good job of bridging the gap.
We appreciate you, Vuvu, for bringing us Turning Pages and for bringing us your BookTube channel.
You know, this is a chance for people to actually see some people that I really enjoy.
Please consider pressing the red subscribe button down below, and if you're a returnee, welcome back, fan.
Vuvu, you're amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
Because last year the awards didn't happen due to COVID, so this year they've got a long list of authors and books that they have nominated into the long list, and I have not bothered to look into the, let me not lie, I did publish a post about the long list on my blog. So I did look at the long list for the non-fiction. I've only got one, because you guys know I'm not a non-fiction person. I've only got one of those books, and that is The Pink Line. The Pink Line by Mark. I don't know, his surname is called The Pink Line though, right? So that's the only non-fiction I have, but I want to talk to you guys about the fiction long list. I have reviewed some of the books on the channel, but I'll show you I show you the books without saying too much. One of the books is by South African author, I almost said his name is The Eyes of the Naked, guys. His name is Lita Hermanus, a xoxo author. His book is published by Penguin Books and it's The Eyes of the Naked. I don't want to make this too long, but I almost want to read you the back of these books so that you can get a taste of what the South African literature that has made it onto this prestigious local awards shortlist is all about. So The Eyes of the Naked by Lita Hermanus. It says, amid the chaos, he'd fled on foot from the crime scene. He ran under the cover of night, his escape aided by a series of broken street lamps. He'd come away with nothing save the clothes on his back, and now his son. After becoming embroiled in a robbery, Nakedi Solomon flees to Mthatha, my hometown, taking his boy with him without his ex-wife's knowledge. But the Eastern Cape offers no refuge. His younger brother has run away from home, possibly to a suspicious circumcision school. Drawn into the hunt for his sibling while he evades the law, Nakedi will smash into his history and the norms of society and culture to ask, what does it mean to be a man, to be a father? On this unexpected journey, a new consciousness awakens inside him. Lita Hermanus has worked as an international cabin attendant, a language teacher, and a radio producer and co-presenter. He has also done some acting and worked in music. Currently a development consultant at the Embassy of Japan, he lives with his wife and son in Pretoria. He is a student and speaker of the Japanese language and holds a joint honors degree in media studies and English literature, as well as a master's degree in creative writing from the University of the Witwatersrand, my alma mater. So Lita was so kind as to send me that copy of that book. He's been trying to get me to read it for a while, and so I was not part of the press drop when it did come out, but he was kind enough to send me that copy, so I'm very grateful for that. And then the next one, which is on the long list, is Mermaid Filet by Mia Ardini, and this one is published by Kwela Books, and it's published by Kwela Books. The back reads, the only human ever born wearing Jordans receives a DM on Twitter after a gang-related hit. The mission, find the Tamagotchi or else. This is the story of a Bangat, a main or a genuine or a Malnai, and a Twitter user. A story where dark and fantastical experiences are intricately woven to tell the tale of a network of wannabe gangsters, a wife finding herself with her husband's money in the northern suburbs, and a scurvy 29-year-old living in Woodstock. So it looks like it's based in Cape Town. In this Cape Town, there's a goddess who casts raging rainstorms when female bodies are abused. It's a place where women try to redefine their space in society, and highly coveted mermaid tails are traded for 4,000 a kilogram. Mermaid Filet is about violence, feminism, and how you dollar what you must. And this one was sent to me by NB Publishers. Kwela is an imprint of NB. I just want to see if there's anything here written about the author that I can read to you guys, but it seems there isn't. I don't know if this is her debut. But yeah, I've heard great things about this one, so I can't wait to tap in. Then there is Masade Changa's Triangulum. It's also been longlisted. This one is published by Umuzi. It says, I laid myself down in the dust, and this is when the harm arrived, and the machine appeared before me, breaking the arid horizon and standing larger than I'd ever seen it. There was a narrow rectangle of light at its base, and I understood that it was a door. The hum became a murmur, and it vibrated through me with emotion that tugged at all that surrounded me until I felt nauseous and emptied of thought. I got up and approached the rectangle. I walked through the light and into the dark. In the Eastern Cape, a schoolgirl maths prodigy is haunted by the loss of her mother, who disappeared during the demise of the country's homeland system. When a strange apparition, the machine, visits the girl at night, she's convinced it's a sign from her mother and connected to a series of abductions of local girls. With her two closest friends, she sets out to find the truth, exposing links to the area's murky past. Are her visions disturbed hallucinations to be medicated away? Or are they evidence of supernatural, perhaps even extraterrestrial contact? Years later, as a gifted data scientist in a dystopic surveillance state, she is drawn into a world of espionage, shadowy corporations, eco-terrorists, and hackers through the love she feels for an elusive artist. Presented as a message from the future, Masane Njanga's Triangulum boldly mixes science fiction with philosophy and details of South African history seldom examined, an affecting exploration of bereavement, sexuality, and coming of age. This multi-layered novel showcases a completely original talent coming into his full powers. And for me, it's the science fiction, right? We don't get a lot of that coming from South Africa, or rather, I haven't read a lot of that out of South Africa. And I don't know if his other book is called The Reactive. I don't know if they've said anything about the author here. So I will then assume, okay, there we go. Masade Njanga is the author of The Reactive, a novel that was shortlisted for the Sunday Times Berry Runga Fiction Prize and the University of Johannesburg's debut prize, and received a Betty Trask Award in 2018. The book has since been published in the United States, Great Britain, Germany, and Italy. A past winner of the PEN International New Voices Award, Njanga completed his master's degree in creative writing at UCT as a writing fellow of the Mellon Mays Foundation. He has received a Fulbright Award, an NRF freestanding master's scholarship, and a Civitella Ranieri Fellowship. Excuse me, guys. He was born in East London in 1986. So the next book that I have that's on the long list is by Lauren Bukers, and this is Afterland. I got my interest piqued in Afterland after the South African book fair last year, and I've been collecting Lauren's books, but I think that I will abandon my whole read authors in order for the specific pile of books. So Afterland, I think, is her latest book, and the back, oh, this one is also published by Umuzi. And it's been blurbed, mind you, by George R.R. Martin of the Game of Thrones. Okay, it's too far for you guys to see the Game of Thrones series. Anyway, so Afterland, in a future where most of the men are dead, Cole and her 12-year-old son Miles are on the run from the most dangerous person she knows, her sister. Miles is one of the lucky survivors of a global pandemic, but in a world of women, that also makes him a hot commodity. The Department of Men wants to lock him away in quarantine forever, maybe. A sinister cult of neon nuns wants to claim him for its own, the answer to their prayers. And boy traffickers are close on their heels thanks to Billy, Cole's ruthless sister, whom Cole thought she left for dead. In a desperate chase across a radically changed America, Cole will do whatever it takes to get Miles to safety because she's all he's got. And yeah, that is that. I don't think Lauren Bucas needs any introduction. She has authored Moxieland, Zoo City, The Shining Girls, Broken Monsters, and other books, short stories as well. However, I will look to see if they've listed anything about her at the back. If not, really guys, I don't think that she really needs any introduction. I feel like most people would know her or about her. I don't see anything on here, so I'll leave it at that for the sake of time. And then the next book has been on my radar for a very long time. This copy was sent to me by Pen Macmillan, South Africa. This was not to mention by Professor Vivian de Klerk, and this one is published by Pen Macmillan, South Africa, and it reads, as her 21st birthday approaches, Katie Ferreira has not left her bedroom for close to 2 years. In fact, she has not left her bed. At 360 kilograms, she simply can't. Characterized by an indomitable spirit, Katie tries to make the best of a bad situation. She does the crossword in the Herald newspaper her mother brings home, consumes the food she craves, biscuits, pies, donuts, liters of fizzy drinks, and waits in hope for insulin and a solution to her plight. To pass the time, she begins to compile her own crossword in one of the Croxy notebooks that has been unused since she dropped out of school. Within each cryptic clue is a message, an attempt to explain how it feels to be the fat girl, how taking comfort in sweet things as a grieving and lonely child escalated into a deadly relationship with food and a psychological and physical disease. The process triggers splintered memories of dark family secrets and hints of culpability. As Katie finds her voice quirky, macabre, devastatingly astute, and viciously funny at times, the notebooks fill up. Not to mention is part diary, part memoir, part love-hate letter to the mother who fueled her daughter's addiction as steadily as the world ostracized her. The destructive power of shame and society's harsh judgment of people who are different is matched by the immense courage of a young woman who is determined to be heard. Vivian de Klerk is Professor Emeritus of Linguistics at Rhodes University, where she devoted 30 years to teaching and research before becoming Dean of Students in 2008. She received the Vice Chancellor's Senior Distinguished Research Medal, and in 2019 was the recipient of the Crack Writing Grant, not to mention is her first novel. So the other book that's been long listed is Ikau Juka's Yellow Bone. I will not be reviewing this one because I have a chat with Ikau Juka on the channel. I will try and link it up here, up here somewhere, around this book. This was our first book in the Vuvu Vena Reads book club that exists over on Facebook. So the back of it reads, when Andre held the violin up to the light, Karabo could have sworn it was alive. The polished wood glowed with such opulence that the surface seemed to move and swirl like a hologram. Karabo, a light-skinned girl living in Mthatha, grew up with the hurtful cry of Yellowbone ringing in her ears. She hears her parents argue, not realizing that the question of her paternity is the cause. On a scholarship in London, Karabo attends a private recital where an antique violin binds her fate to that of virtuoso Andre Potgieter. He hides an inconceivable secret though no saint himself, he is visited by angels, and he'd do anything to keep seeing them. Spanning South Africa, Britain, and Ghana, Yellowbone is an enthralling novel exploring identity, justice, deceit, and truth. This one is published by Kwela Books. This glare, I don't know if that helps. It does. I should have done that from the start. I'm sorry guys. So anyway, this one is published by Kwela Books, and it was sent to me by NB Publishers, And then the other one on the long list is Angela McCullough's Critical But Stable. I have reviewed it on the channel. If I can't link it up here, I will definitely link it in the description below. This one is published by Penn Macmillan South Africa. It was sent to me by Penn Macmillan, and the back reads, let me see if they, sorry, I realize now that I didn't look if there's anything here that they've said about the author, Ikau Juka, but he's also not new to the local literature scene. Yes, there we go. Educated in Ghana, the UK, the US, and France, Ikau Juka has worked as an all-field engineer, a banker, and as a corporate strategist. His current profession is in data science, helping organizations use data to make better decisions. He has published 4 novels: White Wahala, Dying in New York, The God Who Made Mistakes, and Yellowbone. White Wahala was a finalist in the 2011-2012 EU Prize for Literature. He lives in Johannesburg with his wife Bridget and 2 children. So that is Ikau. So I'm about to tell you about Critical But Stable. No one ever tells you the cost of a perfect life. The Msibis, the Manamelas and the Gias are high-flying married couples who belong to the Kula Society, a social club with investment and glitzy benefits. The wives are smart, successful in their chosen careers, and they lead lifestyles to match, jostling for pole positions in the Keeping Up with the Khumalo Stakes. The husbands have had their successes and failures, sometimes keeping dubious company and getting to the top of their fields by whatever means necessary. Beneath the veneer of marital bliss, however, lies many secrets. What will happen to their relationships when a devastating event affects their lives? We shall see, or we have seen, those of us who have read it. So Angela McCullough is the much-loved author of gripping psychological thrillers. Her novels Red Ink, The 30th Candle, Black Widow Society, and the internationally acclaimed The Blessed Girl are filled with entertaining escapades and sexual misadventures. So this one, like I said, we've read and reviewed, and I'll try and link it somewhere. Then also on the list is Nick Mhlongo's latest book called Paradise in Gaza. This one is published by Pella Books, and it was sent to me by NB Publishers. Nick hardly needs any introduction. I don't even think that they spared him any space, did they? Oh, they did. So I'll tell you about him after I've read the back. A burial brings Mbisi Mpisani back to the village of his birth and the home of his first wife, Khanyisa. His trip to Gaza village in the homeland Gaza Nkulu is meant to be short, since his second wife, waiting jealously in Soweto, will give birth any day now. He also needs to return to his job in Johannesburg. Under apartheid law, being fired might mean forfeiting the right to return to the city altogether. But when Mbisi's 8-year-old son, who accompanied him, disappears without a trace, racked with worry, Mbisi stays to search for him. Is the boy lost, or is there sorcery involved? Or is this a message from the ancestors, as some villagers suggest? Meanwhile, Mbisi's city wife, Ntombazi, bears a boy with a birthmark that seems to be a sign. His birth sets both Ntombazi's and Khanyisa's life on an unexpected path. In Paradise in Gaza, Nick Mhlongo masterfully weaves the thread of mystery through a novel set in a time when Black people's movement to and from cities was severely constrained. He tells the tale of a village steeped in culture and the people that it binds together. So Nick Mhlongo is an award-winning author from Soweto. He holds a BA degree from Wits University, majoring in African literature and political studies. Paradise in Gaza is his 4th novel, following Dog Eat Dog, After Tears, and Way Back Home. He has also published 2 short story collections, Affluenza and Soweto Under the Apricot Tree, and edited a collection of essays entitled Black Tax, Burden, or Ubuntu. The Spanish translation of Dog Eat Dog won the Mar de Letras, okay, we don't speak Spanish here, prize in 2006. Soweto Under the Apricot Tree was awarded the 2019 Herman Charles Bosman Prize and the 2019 Nadine Godimer Short Story Award, one of South Africa's one of the South African Literary Awards. Okay. That's Paradise in Gaza. And then we've also read A Family Affair. We've reviewed it on the channel as well. We love Sue so much. So this goes without saying, I was so excited to see that she was on the long list. This is her third novel, came out last year, A Family Affair by Sue Nyati. The back reads, family is complicated. Meet the Mafus, a close-knit traditional family with 3 daughters. As leaders of their church, the Kingdom of God, Pastor Abraham and his wife Pumla are guiding the community of Bulawayo in faith while trying to keep the different branches of their family intact. Independent and feisty Xoliswa returns home after a hiatus abroad, hoping for a fresh start and a chance to steer the family business. Rebellious Yandisa has met the love of her life and is finally getting her act together, while dutiful newlywed Zandile is slowly becoming delusioned with her happily ever after. The Mafus always present a united front, but as their personal lives unravel, devastating secrets are revealed that threaten to tear the family apart. For how long will they be able to hide behind the facade of a picture-perfect family? Sue Nyati was born and raised in Bulawayo and lives in Johannesburg with her son. Her first novel, The Polygamist, was published in 2012, and fans will be pleased to know she is currently writing a sequel. Her best-selling second novel, The Gold Diggers, was published by Pan Macmillan in 2018. So this was sent to me by Pan. This is also published by Pan. Okay, so we're on to the last 3 books, okay? The third, what? Never you mind. Up next is Lacuna by Fiona Snykers. I don't think Fiona needs any introduction either, but if they've said anything about her, okay, they have, I will read that out to you guys. So it says, Lucy Lurie is deeply stuck in PTSD following a gang rape at her father's farmhouse in the Western Cape. She becomes obsessed with the author John Coetzee, who has made a name for himself by writing Disgrace, a celebrated novel that revolves around the attack on her. Lucy lives the life of a celibate hermit, making periodic forays into the outside world in her attempt to find and comfort Coetzee. The Lucy of Coetzee's fictional imaginings is a passive, peaceful creature almost entirely lacking in agency. She is the lacuna in Coetzee's novel, the missing piece of the puzzle. Lucy Lurie is no one's lacuna. Her attempts to claw back her life, her voice, and her agency may be messy and misguided, but she won't be silenced. Her rape is not a metaphor. This is her story. That's interesting because I've read Disgrace. And the thing is, a lot of people talk about how when these kind of situations are written by men, they don't necessarily have the same gravitas as when a woman writes them. But I don't know. I'm not passing any judgment onto JM, because that book, like it said, it was celebrated largely far and wide. So I want to see what Fiona does with this topic. So Fiona Snykers is the author of the Trinity series of young adult novels, the Eulalie Park series of mystery novels, and 2 high concept thrillers now following You and Spire. She has been longlisted 4 times for the Sunday Times Berry Wronger Fiction Prize. So that's the one. Then Auntie Gang made it to the list. I have Illumination. Oh, sorry, this one was published by Picador Africa. It was sent to me by this one was definitely sent to me by Pan Macmillan. Yeah, Pan Macmillan, South Africa. So I got myself a copy of this at the sale last year. I want to say it's the exclusive book sale last year, to build my collection of Tikeng's books. So this is Illumination by Tikeng Mohlele, and it's published by Picador Africa, an imprint of Pan Macmillan, South Africa. The back reads, Bantu Bonge is an accomplished and revered musician, composer, and band leader in decline. An absent, present, and inadequate spouse. He lives for art at the expense of all else, an imbalance that derails his life and propels him to the brink of madness and despair. A story of direct and implied betrayals, Illumination is an unrelenting study of art, possession and loss, and of the beauty and uncertainty of love, of friendship, and the dangers and intrusions of faith. Ntikeng Mhlele was partly raised in Limpopo and Tembisa Township and attended the University of the Witwatersrand, where he obtained a Bachelor of Arts in Dramatic Art, Publishing Studies, and African Literature. He is the author of 5 critically acclaimed novels: The Scent of Bliss, Small Things, Rusty Bells, Pleasure, and Michael K. Pleasure won the 2016 University of Johannesburg Main Prize for South African Writing in English, as well as the 2017 K. Silo Duka Memorial Prize at the South African Literary Awards. Illumination is Mhlele's 6th novel. So, I'm ready. The Fall, this one is published by Kwela Books. It was sent to me by NB Publishers. The Fall is by Jane Thorpe, and the back reads, Hector #fees must fall protest leader believes it's time for the students to think a bit bigger than toy-toying. This creates problems for None, South Africa's president, who wants no trouble from pesky students in the week she's launching an extraordinary zoo. So when Thuli reveals that she can see 7 days into the future and Hector's life is at risk, the idea seems only semi-crazy to Helen, the journalist she tells. But as Helen starts to investigate the sinister forces that lurk on campus, she realizes that Thuli knows only part of the danger. The people in power might be more menacing than anyone could have foreseen. One thing is certain: if Thuli is right, there are only 7 days to change the future. Set in an alternate Cape Town and told by a diverse cast of characters, The Fall is an enthralling edge of your seat read. So Jane Thorpe is a feminist writer and researcher based in Cape Town. Her first novel, The Peculiars, was published in 2016, was longlisted for the Etiselet Prize for Literature and the Sunday Times Fiction Prize in 2017. She has edited 3 collections of feminist essays: My First Time in 2012, Feminism Is in 2018, and Living While Feminist in 2020. So that's the last book that I have that is longlisted in the Sunday Times CNA Literary Awards 2021. And if you want, you can comment in the comment section down below which you'd want me to start with. And like I've already indicated, I've already reviewed A Family Affair, and I hope it gets shortlisted. I have reviewed Critical But Stable. I hope it gets shortlisted. These are my black sisters. Of course I want them to get shortlisted. I have had a chat with Ikao Juka about Yellow Book, and then the rest of them I still need to read. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that still need to be read, which means that in total these were 12 books that I showed you guys that I have from the 33 that have been longlisted. Okay, wish me luck, guys. Thank you so very much for tuning in, and I really appreciate you guys spending time with me. Until next time, I love you very much. Bye now.